made something like 5,000 videos, so I've been told. Taking pictures here in the fire truck. It's something like 5,000 videos, and in about a 10-year stretch, and I will never ever in my life ever get tired of filming the Disneyland Railroad coming into station at the Main Street train station. That fills me up so much every time. I will sit there and I will just wait for it sometimes. I won't go in. I won't go into the park until I've seen that train come in. Oh, that makes me so happy. Look at that. Here, we got more happiness. Well, before we get into the heart of what this video is, because it's not a feel-good, let's go to Disneyland video. We did one of those yesterday. But there's something about seeing a show, be that the Dapper Dans, or the Straw Hatters, or what used to be the Hook and Ladder Company, but right there in front of the fire department, with Walt's apartment there in the background, framing it just right so, like we did there. That kind of just makes you feel all right, you know? It just makes you feel, it makes you feel like you're home, and this is how it's supposed to be. Like I said, that's not the video we're making today. Today we're doing State of Disneyland. We're gonna find out what's going on around the park. How does the park feel as of, you know, what is today, March 23rd? We're gonna go to every land. We're gonna go to all the lands. We're gonna update you guys on how the parks feel, how the crowds are, wait times, mobile order, that kind of thing. I wanna show you guys a little something. I've been here since about, 10 this morning, so I've been in the parks for about 5 hours. I was here for another, 6 hours yesterday. And one thing that I've been able to observe so far, just in these last few days, is how not busy the park is. I expected it to be quite a bit more busy. Well, there are areas that are here on vacation, lots of people coming in from out of town, spring break, that kind of thing. Perfect travel weather for folks coming from out of state, Arizona, Nevada, lots of people coming in, or there should be. But when I look at what's going on right here at the hub, it just feels noticeably not busy. It looks beautiful, by the way. The hub is beautiful, the partner statue and all this, and the pink flowering trumpets looks fantastic, but I'm a little bit surprised so far to say, and this is not just what I'm seeing right now, it's what I've been seeing for the last 10 or 12 hours, is how not busy it is. In fact, I was asked quite a bit, a couple months ago, people were asking me, what do you think spring is going to be like in the parks? And I did think it was going to be busier than this. I didn't think it was going to be super busy like you've seen in the past, in previous springs. But I did think it was going to, I thought that there was going to be sort of, an incremental increase in crowds, but it certainly hasn't seemed to happen yet. And I don't know, I can't say, I can't say if it's the same question we ask all the time. Is this intentional? Is this Disney limiting the crowds, or are the people not showing up? Which one is it? I would probably say it's more likely Disney doing this, and I think if they are doing it, it's because they're still having trouble with cast, with staffing the parks, with getting things up to, they don't have the staff and the capabilities to handle a bigger crowd today. This is something we're going to talk about in a little bit, in a little more detail, but this is an example of it looking like it's busy, but it's actually not. You got this queue out here in front of Jungle Cruise. That's never a good thing, right? But that's it. That's the whole queue. There's nothing going on up there. It's a 20-minute wait. Typical bottleneck out here in front of Indiana Jones, but a nominal wait time. 40-minute standby wait time. That's a minor miracle. We were just talking about the wait times the other day in a news video, and they looked like they were higher than they should be. I saw a wait for 75 minutes for Indiana Jones and return times for 3 or 4 hours, but we're not seeing that today. By the way, this is normally a major choke point, so it looks like it's busy, but it's not as busy as it looks, because this is always where the crowds pinch. And the majority of the folks that you're seeing here are just people coming in with their Genie Plus. The queue out here is pretty long. If you see that, don't panic. Go take a picture of that and post it on Twitter. You'll be out of there. You'll be in your ride in 5 minutes, even with that. I hope you guys checked out our construction video, or if we have, I'm not sure if we published it yet, but we got some action there at Tarzan's Treehouse. Stay tuned. If you haven't seen it, or watch it if I posted it. If I posted it and you didn't watch it, do that. This scene right here, I've walked by this a few times in the past couple of days, and it's bumming me out. Pirates has been closed before for a refurb, most notably an extended refurb when they were doing that whole red thing, when they replaced red. But you can certainly see, no doubt, the impact that it's having on traffic here in New Orleans Square. Normally, I would be sitting in a sea of strollers right now, but that's not the case. And it's pretty wide open. I'm actually surprised that we haven't seen a greater effect on other attractions nearby, Jungle Cruise, Indiana Jones, and Haunted Mansion. They're not typically, all these guests who would be going to Pirates of the Caribbean right now would be flowing over to one of those three attractions, most notably Haunted Mansion. But the wait times there aren't bad either right now. It doesn't look all that bad. This might be one of my favorite weird things that you can do at Disneyland right now. It's not a permanent thing. They're only doing this while they're working on the river. That's really cool. I love going full, so I've only done it one time. Anyway, getting back to Pirates, that's the good news. I mean, Pirates, it sucks that it's closed. But the good news is that and I think the Columbia are the only thing that is really, that's the only down attraction right now, I think. Well, okay, Finding Nemo, but that's just a permanent condition these days. Tarzan's Treehouse, total friggin' mystery, but most people don't care about Tarzan's Treehouse. But I mean, everything else is up. And well, the monorail was down today earlier, or has been down this afternoon because of the heat. Apparently it's decided they can't run that thing during the heat, which we've seen that in the past, that's the thing, but it's 80. It's not even that hot, in my opinion, so I don't know, I have questions about that. This ain't bad either. This wait, that's one train. One rotation at New Orleans Square is always a win in my book. No sooner do I talk about Pirates and Columbia being the only two attractions that are closed today. And then well, there was the monorail situation, but no sooner do I say that than I walk by Splash Mountain, which had just reopened the other day. It's down. And that segues into another conversation, something that I've been hearing a lot of. And as a matter of fact, just as I was walking by Splash Mountain, I was talking to another guest, and because she had a Genie Plus Lightning Lane reservation for Splash, and she can't use it. And she also can't use it for Haunted Mansion, which just broke down, and Rise of the Resistance, which also just broke down. So she has had three breakdowns in a row, 3 attractions in a row that she had reservations for on Lightning Lane that didn't happen. Now, I don't know how indicative that is of the common Genie Plus experience, namely because I don't use Genie Plus, but I can say that it has been an ongoing situation pretty much since the parks reopened, but I'm hearing more and more of it. Well, I should say, I'm still hearing it today. I shouldn't be hearing it today still, because it has now been a year since the parks have reopened. So, I mean, you would guess, okay, there are some maintenance issues they might have because rides have been broke down, or closed for a long time. They were closed for a year, weren't running. You're gonna have some maintenance issues. The reason why World of Color took as long as it did to come back around was because it didn't get any maintenance when it was down. That kind of thing. But they've had plenty of time now. So the rides are breaking down more frequently, and it's taking them longer to reboot them, and that is one of the contributing factors to the standby wait times getting longer and longer as well, because every time a breakdown happens, especially on an attraction like Splash Mountain or Rise of the Resistance, those guests with Lightning Lanes get the pass, the any ride in the park pass or any fast pass in the park pass. And so they use that, and that doubles up the other attractions. Well, those 100 people are going to use those on another attraction where they wouldn't have otherwise. It's an ongoing problem here at Disneyland. It's an ongoing problem with keeping rides open. And it makes it very difficult to manage Lightning Lane and manage Genie Plus with attractions that keep breaking down. Almost impossible. Looks like Rise just reopened. The standby queue looks completely empty. And then this is all the Lightning Lanes that are coming back to cash in their ticket. It looks bad. I've talked about this before. It looks bad, but don't panic. Don't panic if you have a Lightning Lane. All of these people are going to get to go before all the people we just saw. The few people we just saw going through the standby queue, As soon as they get to the back of the line, they're gonna be parked there for a minute while they let in all these guests. Everybody, every single one of those guests with a paid Lightning Lane is gonna get to go before any of those folks. Don't panic. But I mean, it's gotta feel a little dicey. Oh my God, it's like rope drop at 8 o'clock. Look at this. They even got an end of line guy here. And this is all Lightning Lane. This is all Lightning Lane. Oh my God, there's more. I didn't even notice there's more back there. My goodness. I know I just said that everybody's gonna get in before standby, which is true. But this is still significant. They still got to cycle all these guests through the Ray room. You can only fit like maybe what, 30, 40 people in that room, maybe 50 tops, 50 maybe, because that's where these guys go. It's the first when you get Lightning Lane, you go into the Ray room with the BB-8, and that takes a few minutes to cycle. So they're gonna put in 40, 50 people there, and then they got to stop and wait. So these guys are gonna wait. I don't even know. Gosh. Just do a head count. There's got to be 300 or 400 people here. 400 divided by 50 is 8. 8 times 5, that's 40 minutes. If you're in the back of the line, 40 minutes. That's just a rough guess. Still, it's going to be better than standby. I'm telling you, those standby folks are going to wait that entire 40 minutes. Attractions breaking down. I mean, it's a killer. It is a killer. I don't know if the breakdown situation is a result of just, I don't know, bad luck, or is it attributable to Disney, among other things. You know, they're trying to limit staff. The whole purpose of the reservation system, or one of the purposes of the reservation system, is to keep the minimum level of cast on hand, right? So they don't want to have a surplus of cast. They want to know on demand, basically is what they call it. On demand cast and on demand inventory. Are they trying to on-demand ride maintenance? Because you are playing with fire if you do that. You are playing with fire. That is a dangerous game. We are now in the Galaxy's Edge Market in Batu. Nothing to report here really, other than it's magnificent and beautiful, and I love it here. And I wish that we could get more lands like this. It makes me jealous that, you know, I mean, on the one hand, I like to keep things as they are, but when they make something new and they make it good, it is out of the ballpark good. Similar story here at Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. 40-minute standby. It's not bad. It doesn't feel very busy right here in this area. I don't feel a lot of pressure from the folks. I don't feel like a lot of guests are standing around lingering, and there is probably you know, a percentage of folks waiting for their Lightning Lane. In fact, the Lightning Lane wait time right now, or return time, is 4:35, which again is stark contrast to what we saw when we were checking out stuff here yesterday and the day before, Monday and Tuesday. You were looking at 2 or 3 hour return times. It's such a wide disparity of results from day to day in the park, and it's so difficult to say for sure if it's one way or the other. Speaking of which, let's take a minute. We talked about getting a treat earlier. Let's take a minute, get a treat. Hi, how are you? And let's take a look at the tip board. Let's take a look at the wait times, return times. All right, Fantasyland. You know, there's a little snack cart that people walk by all the time. It's got one of the original great treats at Disneyland. This is the frozen apple juice. This predates Red's Apple Freeze at the Cozy Cones. Matter of fact, I don't even think they serve that anymore there. It predates Maurice's Treats with the Boys and Apple Freeze. I haven't had one of these probably in about 3 years.
I was really impressed you didn't drink it.
Oh, it's so good. It needs to melt a little bit, but luckily I'm in the hot sun right now. Let's get into the tip board. Now, what we were seeing Monday and Tuesday were some really exceptionally high return times, at least compared to what they've been, and compared to the time of day. This is much later in the day than it was when I took that. I was measuring those at about 1 o'clock and maybe about noon. But this is nothing. 40 minutes for Autopia, return time of now, basically. Big Thunder's now, 35-minute standby. Buzz Lightyear's now. Haunted Mansion now, 25 minutes. Indiana Jones, That's what we saw there. Over 4 hours and 70 minutes. When we were at Indiana Jones earlier, it was at 40. I wonder what happened there. You know what that is? That's folks, probably that's folks with lightning lanes coming over from, I wonder if does Haunted Mansion, is that a lateral move? I don't know the rankings, you know, how they do it by heart. I don't know if Haunted Mansion and Indiana Jones are on the same tier. I want to say they're not, but certainly Rise of the Resistance and Space Mountain. But I don't know if Space Mountain's been down. Small World, 5 minutes. Come on, Small World. Matterhorn is an hour with 7:35. I mean, that's a lot. That's a long time to wait for either standby or for return time for Lightning Lane. But you know what? That makes me happy, actually. Is that weird? Is that weird? That it's like I'm proud of you, Matterhorn. I'm proud of you. Good for you. That's like you know, it's an old man getting it done. The Matterhorn, just like me, making videos at 50. Like Matterhorn of Disney vloggers. Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run, standby 60. I don't think that's correct with the return time. So that jumped up. The return time that we saw when we were just over there wasn't that late. Peter Pan, 35, no way. Space Mountain 70 with a 7:40 return time. Splash Mountain, it went down and it's still down. I think that's probably why they're not showing a standby but a return time of 8 o'clock. Good heavens. It's just the big ones. The smaller attractions are walk-ons still. Well, not walk-ons, but return time now. I'm talking about Lightning Lane, Star Tours, walk-on, or right now. Rise of the Resistance is 150 minutes. Okay, so that not only does that support what I was saying before, it looked like nothing. It was posted. I didn't show you this, but when they had just reopened Rise of the Resistance, it was posted at 100 minutes, even though the queue was empty. And when I saw that, I'm like, okay, that says 100. People are going to think it's not. They're going to look at that queue and think it's not 100 minutes. But I'm here to tell you, it probably is. Not only is it 100 minutes, now it's more. Now it's 2.5 hours. Why? Because you have to wait for all of those people in that Lightning Lane queue that we showed to get through the attraction, because every single one of them is going to get in first. While we're here, let's go ahead and switch. Let's go see how things are doing at DCA. I'm not expecting it to be any worse. Golden Zephyr's closed. Oh, that's weird. Goopy Sky School, standby of 35, but they're not offering Genie Plus. Did it sell out? Guardians of the Galaxy sold out. Incredicoaster, what's going on? Did they break Genie Plus at DCA? Did they break? Oh, I know what it is. I was gonna have a panic attack here for a minute. Today is cast member appreciation event. They're closing DCA at 5 o'clock. I was gonna lose my mind there for a second. Okay, let's look at dining real quick, but not here. We gotta change the park. Let's look at dining. I just want to take a real quick scan at mobile order return times. Pizza Planet is now, Bengal's now. You never see Bengal for now. Docking Bay 7 is now, French Market now. They're all now. Now. Most of these are towels. 100 fresh baked credits, if you can guess what that quote's from. Okay, I've seen enough. It's not busy. Now, that's not to say it's not ever going to be busy. And that's not to say that it's always not busy. But today it's not busy. But it is consistent with what I've been seeing, again, yesterday and the day before when I was in the parks. What they can do, this is something that I alluded to earlier and I said I was going to talk about. What Genie Plus is doing is making the park think it's busy when it's not. It's not a busy day here, absolutely. And the return times are suggesting that. But even when they are, you know, a little higher, because so much priority is given to Lightning Lane, whereas they weren't before. With Fast Pass, there was a ratio, 70-30, 60-40, maybe even 80-20 when it was really bad. But in the old days with Fast Pass, it did affect standby. but not to the extent that it does today, where you are guaranteed instant access, except for really severe cases like that with Rise of Resistance. You are guaranteed to get through immediately. You're just going to flow right into the queue with Lightning Lane with a paid Genie Plus, and that makes standby even worse than it did with FastPass. What happens? What happens when Disney decides, well, if they haven't, when Disney decides to let more people in or to start selling Dream Keys again? Well, actually, it won't make any difference. Dream Keys, selling more Dream Keys in its present state would have no impact on the crowds at all, because you still can't get reservations for a lot of days. The days, the weekends and stuff, you still can't get reservations. I wonder though. Let's finish our day. Fantasyland is perfect. I got nothing to add. Perfect. Let's go to the next land. Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland. Definitely not perfect. Nemo is still closed with no end in sight. I mean, it does look like they're still actively working on it, so it's not like some kind of situation where they're just not going to open it. It does look like they're still doing stuff. We just don't know what they're doing. As I mentioned, the monorail closed right now. Apparently they can't run it during the heat. I'm wondering what's going to happen when it gets actually hot. Concerned for the monorail. And then meanwhile, here at Tomorrowland Terrace at the Galactic Grill, they decided to bring back the Pixar dance party, I guess. It's set up here. It's one of the. It's what I try not to like get too. I don't want to pile on, and I don't want to get too negative. But man, that is some cringe. The setup that they do here is just really bad. Part of the reason why it's bad though is because they can strike it. You can see there's nothing here. But last night there was a full-on Toy Story or Pixar themed, I guess. It was not good. It was. I think it's from other parties that they've done in the past. I mean, the kids seem to have fun actually. When I was walking around, the kids really did seem to like it. So I'll give it that. But it just looks terrible. It does not look good at all. But again, part of that has to do, I think, with the fact that. Well, a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's not a fully realized, fully installed piece of set dressing. Otherwise, not much to report here from Tomorrowland, other than maybe it looks like they've trimmed these trees quite a bit here at the center of this little plaza here in Tomorrowland. These trees used to be much fuller. That's the kind of hard-hitting coverage you come to expect from Fresh Baked. When a tree gets cut down at Tomorrowland, you're gonna know about it because I'm gonna tell you about it. All right, well, we actually got 2 lands to go, but I can't cover Toontown for you because that's closed. By the way, I tried to do a ride by on the train. If you missed our construction update, you'll see that coverage in there. But if you haven't, or if I didn't upload it yet, then stay tuned for our coverage of the train ride through Tomorrowland. Hope to see if we can see anything. Spoiler alert, we saw some trees, that's about it. Which makes our last stop, Frontierland. Not a lot to report here, of course, as well, in terms of just specific things happening in Frontierland. It's as it was, but I wanted to come down here to ride the Mark Twain at dusk, or near it. Actually, it's not quite dusk, but it's gonna be close to it. Is it here? Am I too late? Nope, not late, just in time. They're just deboarding, which means we are next. Let's go for a ride on the Mark Twain to close out this day. I'm gonna take this opportunity before the Mark Twain takes off to close out our discussion on this day on a State of Disneyland conversation. The State of Disneyland is that it's much like it has been for the past few months, if anything less than it has been. I've seen the park busier. It's not getting worse, it's not anything. It's just like it was. I keep waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's just not happening. And I don't know when, I thought it would be spring. And it's funny because this was a point that I had meant to make earlier, which I'm now finally making. You might remember during one of the earnings calls where Chapek does most of his talking, and he said that he expects to have the park fully operational, fully staffed, and fully operational by Christmas of 2021. It was 3 months. We're 3 months past that, and we are no different than we were 3 months ago. You know, no different. Actually, I shouldn't say 4 or 5 months ago, because he said that by Christmas. So he was saying that I think in October or November. Whatever the situation is, they are not where they thought they were going to be right now. At least not what they said they thought they were going to be. They said they were going to be fully operational by Christmas and fully staffed by Christmas. We are not close to that. They had another hire. They cannot keep people employed. Something is not 100%. I mean, but you know what? The bottom line is Disneyland is still what it is. We talked about this in our video yesterday. I'm very grateful for having done that video, and I'm very grateful for the time I spent here today, because Disneyland, no matter what's going on, Disneyland as a park doesn't have an opinion. Disneyland as a park doesn't have an agenda. Come to Disneyland, have a great time. We can talk about the things that are going right and not going right. We can talk about the things that need work, but Disneyland as a park is still amazing. Let's enjoy this boat ride on the Mark Twain to close out this day. Not really the same though, is it, with the construction walls here from the Pirates and over there in New Orleans Square. That's the impact. Again, we talked about that before. Look at here. Compared to that clip that I showed you guys on Twitter, if you didn't see that Twitter clip, you would be shocked at what you see right now. And that's just 2 months from now. So far, these steps have survived whatever it is that they're doing. Although I have seen over-the-wall pictures from Mice Chat that they've taken out all the concrete behind those walls. See here that they have, looks like they've stripped the paint off of some of those sections. They're going to repaint that, or refinish it, I should say.
Into civilization along the Rio Grande.
And that'll do it, Fresh Bake. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at _FreshBake, on Twitter at FreshBakeDisney, that's Fresh with no E, and on TikTok at FreshBakeDisney. We got a website, freshbakedisney.com. We're also affiliated now with GetAwayToday, so if you're looking to book a trip to Disney World, Walt Disney World, any theme park around, go to GetAwayToday. Use the link in our description. It's an affiliate link. You'll help support Fresh Bake when you go that route. You can also buy your tickets from GetAwayToday. Otherwise, you can also show your support through our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbake. On our website, there's some merch, a merch link. So check that out as well. Thanks again for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Bake.